Hello folks, in this video I'm going to talk about something that really only pertains to those who play For Honor on PC, and that is it better to play For Honor with a controller or a mouse and keyboard? Now as it stands, most people I know who play For Honor use a controller, and of course it goes without saying, everyone has their own preferences. You can do well with either, and switching over to the most optimal setup won't make you a dueling god. I'm just going to go over the advantages of both so that you can decide for yourself whether or not it's worth switching. The game was definitely made with the consoles in mind, but that doesn't mean that a controller is more accessible than a keyboard. So first up, we have blocking and changing stances. It really is an opinion of which of these is better at this, though it definitely feels more responsive with a controller. If the stance change happens to not register because you're getting hit, it's easier to flick the right thumbstick than it is to move the mouse in that direction again. A problem that a lot of people run into is that you can accidentally change your stance with minor mouse movements. For example, if you move your mouse over an inch to the right and accidentally move it 1/10 of an inch to the left at an attempt to recenter the mouse on your mousepad, well, now you're in left side stance and about to get smacked in the face. Now let's talk about guard breaking and interrupting guard breaks. On the controller, you use square on the PlayStation or X on the Xbox, and on the mouse and keyboard, you use the mouse middle button by default. Now here we see the first advantage of the mouse and keyboard. Imagine you want to throw a heavy left, so you change your stance to side left, and at the very last second before you can throw your attack, you see your opponent throw a guard break. Now to interrupt their guard break on a controller, you have to move your thumb all the way from the left position of your thumbstick to square or X. With a mouse, well, either your pointer finger or middle finger should already be on the middle mouse button. If you're not comfortable with your pointer finger sitting between the left mouse button and the middle mouse button, or doing heavy attacks with your ring finger and pinky, you can rebind the guard break to a mouse button near your thumb or somewhere else. The point is, on a mouse and keyboard, you can change your stance and guard break at the same time, while on the controller, your thumb is either on the right thumbstick or the guard break button. Feinting is even more difficult to pull off on a controller than it is on the mouse and keyboard. To feint left and hit right, you would have to move the thumbstick left, hit circle on the PlayStation or B on the Xbox, then go back to the thumbstick to move it right and throw your attack. That's a lot of movement for your thumb. Using a mouse and keyboard, you move your mouse to the left, hit E on your keyboard, move your mouse right, and throw your attack. Again, the mouse and keyboard have an advantage because you never lose control of changing your stance. Now lastly, dodging. On the controller, it is X on the PlayStation or A on the Xbox, and on the mouse and keyboard, it is spacebar. I think you can already assume which control scheme has the advantage based on the previous two, so I'm not going to go into detail explaining this one. Though one thing I should mention is that you can't change stances while you dodge, so the advantage is minor. Overall, the mouse and keyboard will always have the advantage because you don't ever have to lose control of changing your stance when you dodge, guard break, interrupt guard breaks, or feint. Sure, the advantage may be minor depending on how quick you are, but it still is an advantage. I've tried to look for advantages using a controller. Other than that, people found it more responsive and easier to get used to, but I couldn't find anything objective. I've tried both, but having played Chivalry and Mountain Blade, it was a lot easier for me to adapt to the mouse and keyboard, and after looking into it, mouse and keyboard definitely has advantages over using a controller. Don't think that switching over to the mouse and keyboard will instantly make you play better. If you're not used to it, you're not going to do well. There are a lot of skilled streamers and YouTubers who are only using a controller, so it doesn't mean that someone with a controller can't beat someone with a mouse and keyboard. My name is Phunkyzz, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.